Alright, so here I got a battle against some dude from Eric's stream, cause he was streaming and I was creeping, and I was like, hey, I should probably battle, cause I haven't battled anybody in a while. So yeah, it was actually a pretty decent battle. He's got a rain team, and I got the same team I've been using, which I am never gonna use again, because as you will see in this battle, I have a gigantic weakness to Scizor, and he sees this, so he's gonna lead off with his Scizor, and I don't really have anything that could take on a Swords Dance Scizor. Like, my physical wall is supposed to be Slowbro, but obviously it's not going to be able to take some bug attacks from Scizor. So I just decided I'd lead with Horse. Maybe his Politoed is like not choice scarfed, so he'd get close combated in the face. So he's gonna send out a Scizor, and I'm gonna get out of there with my Horse, even though I know I could 1-hit KO with my Choice Bandit Adamant close combat. It's too much of a risk to take. It's too early on the game. I don't even know how this guy plays, so yeah, he's from a stream, and stream people, they could complete garbage or they can be okay. This guy was okay, so whatever. He's gonna go out for the U-turn. I go to Jirachi to take the U-turn. I was expecting maybe Bullet Punch, that's why I didn't go into my Landorus, because then he could just 2-hit KO me, but whatever. He's gonna bring in the Politoed though. I'm gonna go for Protect just to scout. If he goes for Hydro Pump, and it's probably gonna be Choice Scarf or Choice Specs. He goes for Boiling Water though, which tells me it's gonna be the defensive variant. So I'm gonna go into Latios, assuming that he only has Scald as his attacking move. He ends up going for Perish Song. I don't really give a fuck. I'm gonna fire off a Thunderbolt, and he goes for Ice Beam, which doesn't do too much because you know Latios has high base special defense, or relatively high anyway. So he's gonna switch out to his Magnezone, which is pretty much the only thing that he has to take a Thunder attack or Electric attack. And I'm gonna get out of there. I do have the Surf, but I know it's not gonna be able to kill, even if it's in the rain. And I assumed he'd probably go for Flash Cannon or something, so I'm gonna go into my Landorus. He decides to set up a Sum. I'm gonna break it with the Earthquake. And I was kinda really fucking terrified of the HP Ice at this point, but I don't know, there wasn't really too much else I could do. Thankfully, it turns out to be HP Fire, since it did absolutely pitiful damage, thanks to the power being cut in half due to his rain. So the obvious Earthquake is way too obvious, so I'm gonna go for the HP Ice, predicting his Dragonite to come in, which is his only flyer on his team. So HP Ice does absolutely nothing thanks to the multi-scale, but that damage lets me know that he's probably gonna be a defensive variant, which means he's not going to be carrying the Waterfall or Aqua Tail. So I really don't have anything to fear. I'm just going to fire off another HP Ice as he Dragon Tails me out into this Latios, and I assumed that the T-Bolt would kill because it's a fucking Latios, but I guess it doesn't really matter though, because I'm just going to finish him off with the Draco Meteor this turn. Probably should have gone for it the first time, but I don't know. Thunderbolt was almost a 1-hit KO at that range, so whatever, it doesn't matter. Now he's going to go into the Scizor. I don't really want to take a U-turn or anything, so I'm going to go into Landorus to take it. And he does end up going for the U-turn, as I believe he goes into his Vaporeon or something like that. Yeah, Vaporeon comes out. So this is a Pokemon you don't really see too much in the 5th generation metagame, but those of you that played 4th gen knows that Vaporeon has very respectable defenses. So I'm going to get out of there with the U-turn and go into my Latios, assuming again that he's not going to run the Ice Beam and only have the Water type attack, which I can use. Wait, I can't use it. I can resist with my Latios. So he passes off a Wish into this Magnezone thing. I don't really care. I went for the HP Fire here because I assumed he might predict the Surf this time and go back into his Vaporeon, even though I don't know why I predicted that, since he obviously has the hydration ability and not water absorb, but it doesn't fucking matter here. So yeah, shit ends up happening. He goes out to Vaporeon again. I'm gonna go try to 2-hit KO it at that range, but it's not gonna be able to do shit. So he goes for the rest. I really didn't mind the risk here. If he did decide to go for the Ice Beam or Water type move, then I could easily revenge kill it with any other of my powerful Pokemon. So he decides to go for the rest. I'm gonna go into Jirachi. I was kind of thinking about going into Horse, because he might try to like pass off Wishes or set up Aqua Rings or some shit like that. But again, that's too much of a risk. You gotta keep your Horse. You gotta keep him safe. You can't be leaving him in here like this. So I'm pretty much gonna set up a wish, basically specifically for this Latios, since I'm pretty sure I could take a Scald, even if it's in the rain. I don't give a fuck. It's the Latios. It has high special defense. I think I've said that already. But I end up living with 8, and thanks to Jirachi's sacrificial wish, LOL sacrificial wish, I'm gonna heal my shit up, and now he's gonna be forced to go out to his Magnezone to resist the Thunderbolt. Like I said, he doesn't really have too much to take a Thunderbolt, and at this point I realize that he doesn't have Water Absorb, so I'm free to go for the Surf. Kills him off, but now he brings in this Scizor. I'm gonna go for the Surf again, since I don't really have too much that could take any of his U-turns or whatever. But if he decides to go for Bullet Punch, then I'll live and go, and I'll get the hit off. And if he decides to U-turn, then I'll get the hit off anyway. And yeah, he decides to pursue, gets a crit. Kinda mattered, kinda didn't. I don't give a fuck. I got my horse out here, knowing that he's locked, or more than likely choice banded and locked into the pursuit. He's not gonna want to stay in here. So he very, very naively goes into his Toxicroak thinking, hey, I resist close combat. But he obviously does not know the raw fucking power that is a horse that is choice banded. So that's an easy 2-hit KO, even after the leftovers and dry skin recovery. So he's gonna go to his Scizor now. Even right now, his Scizor is a very, very deadly to my team. So yeah, I'm gonna go into Slowbro. Here is where if he was like maybe a little more experienced, he might have predicted that and got for the U-turn. Then I would have been kind of fucked. But he didn't, so I knew he's gonna go back into his Vaporeon because he could try to rest up on me. So I'm gonna double switch out into my Landorus and kill his Vaporeon and basically proceed to kill the remainder of his Pokemon. So yeah, that little comment I made, that's kind of where the skill, quote unquote, comes into play. Like predictions like that, you've basically got to know you have to take risks, and I don't know, maybe a little better player or a more experienced player would have predicted my Slowbro, went for the U-turn, and then I would have had a little bit more trouble with his team, because like I said, I don't have shit for that Scizor, and now that a lot of my guys are dead, it is pretty deadly. Like I said, a non-choice, a Swords Dance variant would have been, I probably would have got wrecked, but since it was choice banded, I was able to play around it, and a few predictions here and there allowed me to basically defeat this guy. So yeah, hopefully this was a decent enough battle for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it's fucking late and I'm not used to talking this late. So comment, rate, all that shit. I'm out.